You're now listening to the 1130 podcast. Enjoy the show.
I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. 1130 podcast, Dreonwheels is the one. Let's get it, yeah. Who with me? Let's get it, yeah. Who with me? I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. Let's get it. 1130 podcast, Dreonwheels.
Yo, what it do, everybody, man? Welcome to the 1130 podcast. What's goody, man? How everybody doing out there, man? We made it back here for another episode. I'm excited. I appreciate everyone definitely tuning in, man. Before we get into all the good stuff, if you're new to the show, if you're new to the podcast, and you haven't done so already, definitely do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button down below. Like it if you comment, share it, do all that great stuff, and don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. All right, man. Now that's out the way. I'm excited. Got an awesome guest, you guys, that's going to be joining me in just a bit here on this week's episode of the podcast show. Michelle Steiner, entrepreneur, author, incredible woman, you guys, is going to be joining the show, man. It's going to be a fun conversation. We'll be chatting with her. As also, like I said, before we get into the good stuff, man, we are on the countdown. We are on the road, man, to the 200th episode of the 1130 podcast show. June 12th, man, we're going to be streaming it live right here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, man. It's going to be a celebration. It's going to be a party. So definitely want everyone tune in. And, man, come rock with your boy, man. June 12th is going to be fun. Now, like I said, I got an awesome guest that we're going to get to in just a bit. Michelle Steiner is coming up. But you guys, man, before, we get into that, man, I thought I'd chat with you guys, man, real fast. I know there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now in the world, man. And, P. Diddy, obviously, is really taking up a lot of the, headlines right now. And, man, the video that got exposed of him, beating up Cassie and, doing the things he did and coming out with that fake ass apology, like, no judgment or anything, but I mean, like, he only, apologized because the tape got out and, and whatnot, but like, come on, you guys, man, let's check out this apology video right now. And you tell me if I'm bullshitting with you guys now. Check this out real quick, man. His ass. Yeah, I'm listening, Diddy.
Disgusted. I was disgusted then.
Now, you guys really think he telling the truth? Hold on. You guys really think he telling the truth? With you look at the shirt he got on and just look at his face. His face look like, man, like, oh man, they got me, and he's going down, man. Look, all right, let's keep checking it out.
Now, I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, going to rehab. Had to ask God for His mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
It sounds like a guy right now is literally about to have everything crumbling down at his feet from, the whole music and everything that he has created or whatnot is literally crumbling down to his feet, man. I said a couple of episodes ago or on one show that I can't remember, man, we put some of these celebrities and these entertainers, man, on pedestals in real life, man, and real life, man. These people be evil. These people be, something that you couldn't even, imagine or think of, but you're so caught up in the entertainment, of what they do, whether it's the music or performing or whatever the case may be, man. So, someone said something a couple of weeks ago. I think we were talking on Commission Talk, and the conversation was about The Rock, and The Rock was pissing in water bottles on the set. And, people were finding them. And not only was he doing that, he was late. And, that wasn't, him being late was something new. That was, something I think a lot of people already knew, but I think the water bottles pissing on set that he just didn't have time to pee and stuff. So it's like, man, when you've been on that pedestal and you've been at a certain level in the industry and in the industry and entertainment world, man, for so long, people would start trying to find something so, find the littlest things to just, man, look at, man, he too good. Look at Rock out here giving out cars, making people cry, making a wish, doing all this, man. Like he's just too good. So we, like my guy Brian B. Shout out to Brian B. He said one thing. He was like, man, it's real easy to hate people, but then it is to like someone. Like you got to give a reason to really buy in, to really like people. It's really easy to hate everyone because everybody like, I don't like that person, but the person never really gave you no reason to not like them though. But you just like, I don't like them though. But until people start moving in certain directions and stuff like that, you be like, oh, you know what, I think I like this person, like. But man, to the original story, man, P Diddy, man, like it's definitely crazy, man. Like it goes to with the Vince McMahon situation that went down over the last several months, man. And when that story was came out and released, and I was like, yo, yeah, he did it. But I wasn't, necessarily trying to be that guy that jumped towards conclusion. But I mean, from his character and what it portrayed on TV, man, I was like, wow, like, damn, bitch, like you was really like that, like, But if you told me, and made a story and was like, yo, man, in 2023, 2024, man, Vince McMahon's going to go down for sex trafficking and paying employees under the table hush money, I'd have been like, word, for real? But I'd have believed it, though. I would have believed it. And then you got P. Diddy on the hands, man. And for some reason, a lot of people have been talking about these P. Diddy parties and celebrity parties for so long. And, I guess people just brushed it under the rug or whatnot. But, you know, it's a little early for the WTF moment, which is still coming up later on in the show, man. But that's WTF, man, all the way though. But P Diddy, man, you're going to jail, nigga. You're going to jail for real. Shout out to my guys at 85 South Show. But you guys, man. Another thing, you guys, I don't know if you guys seen this Netflix documentary that's out right now. It's called Ashley Madison, I believe. At least that's the part of the title. Ashley Madison, man, was a big organization or company and brand, especially in the early 2000s, I believe. Yeah, early 2000s or whatnot. And man, they prime, focus or objective was, man, let's, let's well, mainly it was a lot of married people, mostly, everybody sort of was married and they signed up to these, website Ashley, Madison, which was free. And you go on there, you find other married people and you mingle with them or have a relationship with them or it's strictly sex or whatever like that. And the jump was so crazy because it's a three-part episode. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. If you haven't watched it, skip ahead and watch it, come back to this part. But I thought it was an incredible documentary, but also, man, I feel like, it's sort of in a nutshell. I think Ashley Madison came crumbling down. It got hacked. Someone hacked the system and said, yo, man, we're going to expose all this data and we're going to release it to the public, man. And it wasn't really wouldn't know like, we're going to release this to the public or if you pay us $1 million, nothing like that. They sort of like got back to certain people that they figured that was maybe responsible for the hack. And the first person they got was like, man, no, I'm not responsible. They didn't want the money, no, they didn't want nothing. And it's like 30 days, man. You got 30 days to take it down. And you were thinking these people who was the hackers or what was they called? The ICE team, the hack team, something like that. I can't remember. And but they didn't want no money. But in 30 days, they released the information and then start releasing more information and pictures for pastors, preachers, like just so many people. And then you had people who was on these lists were finding out, and, they were committing suicide. And more than that, I think the actual documentary was about this couple, basically a guy who was sort of happily married with his wife, but just wanted something extra, wanted attention. It really wasn't sex, but he didn't really know, but he wanted something else. So he signed up for that. And he at first admitted that he did not sleep with nobody, did not contact, did not meet up with nobody, or none of that. You feel me? Like, and that's what he said. But to come to find out, he did meet up with some women and did all of this stuff. And prior to that, him and his wife was like getting on good terms. They had a real strong YouTube channel, fan base, and doing stuff for community or whatnot like that. And to me, it seems though it was more so about them. They had another couple that they were showing. The was a lady who was talking about shit. I'm on it strictly for sex, and my husband cool with it. So when all the information came out, they never went back to them. You never heard any more of their interview parts for the rest of the show, because it was like, yo, man, they didn't care, because they were openly they were open with one another. They could communicate with one another. So I think that's I think that's what's a lot. That's what's wrong with a lot of relationships nowadays, man. We just don't communicate. We don't communicate. We just sneak off and go off, man. And I was watching it with my fiance, and she was like, I don't know about that with you. And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know about that neither, though. But I think in the case like that with Ashley Madison, in a way, a lot of people, were caught and was on these, and when the data was reached, was on this list or whatnot. But a lot of these people sometimes were probably, not happily, they probably were married. They were never leaving their spouse. They just wanted something else, man. And it is real unfortunate. I feel like it was an inside job who really released all this information, got the money that they could, and just said, you know what, fuck it. And everybody's just going down, because it was like, yo, in the beginning when it was sort of being created and getting off the ground, everybody was like, hold on, wait a minute. So is married people signing up to try to date other married people? Like that's a sin. Like, what the hell? So it was a lot of people who was really, really against it, though. But I think that's the most I'm gonna say about it, though. But the question is, though, you guys, man, here on this week's episode, and I guess for the married couples or whatnot, would you would you done Ashley Madison, or like, would you be down as a married couple to date other married couples or whatnot like that? So I think that is sort of the big question in a way. But yo, WTF, man, if you haven't saw that, man, definitely go check it out. Definitely go check it out. But you guys, man, before we get to my guest Michelle Steiner, I just want to let everyone know, man, I got a new science teacher, man, for real. I don't know if you guys been on social media or whatnot. Terrence Howard, man, has really been taking over social media. He did an interview the other day with the Joe Rogan podcast, man. Incredible. And I know some people, man, if you're not on in certain intellectual, I hope I'm saying that right. I'm pretty sure about that. If you're not on a certain level, man, you probably won't be understanding what he's talking about. He's really talking about some really good shit, man. Like, the multiplications and just how, life works and everything like that, man. So I said to myself, man, I'm a big biology guy. I like, science and, how the earth was created, and, trees, animals, all that, the body, the human body, all that, man. But biology, man, in high school was, one of my favorite classes, courses to really take, though. Biology, science was really cool, growing a plant, doing all that other stuff. So I said, man, shit, man, when I need some science, I need some information. I'm gonna tune into my man Terrence Howard, though. But now, all seriousness though, man, great. I love what he doing, man. Definitely love what he doing. And how he talked about acting, was something to pay the bills, man. But his, passion was, getting into, science or whatnot. So definitely check that out, man. Yo, man, this has been an great show so far, man. For real. I got Michelle coming up right after these 30 seconds, man. Don't move, you guys, man. For real, we gonna get into it, man. Yo.
Cable for less than cable. More unexpected plot twists.
Ooh.
Less unexpected fees. More committing to new shows.
Ooh.
Less committing to an annual contract. More being held in suspense. plus being held on hold. More modern, more simple, more than cable for less than cable. Try YouTube TV for free.
All right, now that's out the way, you guys, man. I got an awesome guest that's going to be joining me here on this week's episode. She's a writer, you guys, entrepreneur. She's a speaker, a photographer, you guys. Man, she's a para-educator. Michelle Steiner, yes, you guys, man, is going to be joining me here in just a bit on this awesome episode. We're going to be chatting with her and more, man. It's going to be great. We ain't going to waste no more time. We're going to bring on Michelle. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself? How's your day going?
It's going pretty good. And yours?
Going well. It's definitely going. And,
Yeah.
it's pretty good. Pretty good. It's going well. But I appreciate you for joining me on the podcast show this week. For my listeners and viewers that's not familiar with you mind telling everyone about yourself?
Sure. Well, my name is Michelle Steiner. I live in Pennsylvania with my husband and my our two cats, Jack and Sparrow, and my husband Ron. And I am a para-educator. I work in a school with students who have disabilities and some who just need a little extra help. And I'm also a writer, photographer, and speaker. And I have a blog called Michelle's Mission, where I write about a life with a learning disability, and I get to feature my photography. And I have a learning disability myself.
Okay, all right. You say you have a learning disability
Yes.
yourself, and you're all into this though. You were diagnosed with a disability in kindergarten, am I right?
Yes,
Yeah.
they found out I had a learning disability. My teacher noticed that I was really struggling with things such as counting and tying my shoes. And I was my parents' first child, and they didn't have a lot to base development on. But my teacher could catch it, and she recommended that I get tested. And sure enough, they found out I had one. They did not give it a specific name at that point. It was more of a blanket term where everybody was just diagnosed with having one, and you were all kind of lumped in the same category. They did know I was not going to be a mathematician whenever I was 5 or 6 years old, though.
Okay. Well, you talking about growing up, with this learning disability, and you also had some, basically trials and tribulations that you had to go through to get to where
Mhm.
you're at right now, though. Being an author and being a speaker, though, uh, the learning disability for you, was it difficult? As a child, having the learning disability, because I know at one point, I also have a physical disability, and
Mhm.
certain things within the classroom, it may take me a little longer to maybe complete or
Mhm.
do whatever like that. But I know I talked about that for me on the show. But how was it for you? Having this disability, you said at kindergarten, don't know the name of it, and you're getting sort of this special treatment.
Right. It was really difficult for me during my school years, academically and socially. I can remember I had to repeat kindergarten the following year in a different school. And I also began to receive specialty instruction in all areas. And it was really difficult for me both ways. I can just remember being really frustrated whenever I was young. I just wanted to learn like my peers. I wanted to make my parents proud, and they were always proud of me, but I really wanted to make them happy and be accepted by my peers. But I struggled both. I struggled with all areas of learning, but especially math. That was the big area that I really struggled with. And socially, it was hard too, because I went to a very small conservative school district. I could not hide that I went to learning support for classes. Even when I was in regular ed for reading, science, and social studies, I still had to uh, go into learning support to get my test read to me and have that extra time. And everybody knew that I went there. And pretty soon they started lumping me with a lot of my other learning support peers. They didn't think that I was smart. A lot of my peers, even in learning support, they struggle with reading. A lot of them had some behavior problems. And I didn't feel like I really could identify with them. And then I certainly couldn't really identify with my peers. And when I was really young, it was more like, oh, you're not my friend, or you're not invited to my birthday party.
Hmm.
But as I got through school, it got easier for me academically. I was in all regular ed classes except for math and a resource room. Socially, it got a lot harder. there was a lot more defined peer groups, and I just didn't feel like I fit into any one of them. And the bullying really intensified as I got older and into middle school and high school. But I started to hang out with some kids that were from it was a faith-based art program in another school district. And I found acceptance with a lot of these people. And I wrote for their newspaper, and I found other kids that had interests things that I like to do, and they didn't know me, and I didn't have that reputation that followed me since I began school as being the outcast. And even when that group stopped meeting, I found another writing group. It was an adult writing group, and people were just a couple years older than I was, and they got to see me not only grow as a writer, but as a person as well. And 20 some years later, we still meet once a month to talk about our writing, and we're involved in each other's lives. So I just can't say enough nice things about that. Um,
Wow. I
yeah.
think I think that's awesome for you. I think that's really, really awesome for you, and
Mhm.
that you still have that connection, with those who are, really true to you, that you consider close
Yeah.
friends. Though, but you also, you said you struggle, throughout school, throughout, the academics,
Yeah.
and how the, bullying and struggling with trying
Hmm.
to fit in. I
Yeah.
think a lot of us, even myself at one point as well, where you want to fit in sort of with the norm,
Hmm.
with everyone else. You want
Right.
to, be in certain um activities, or you want to
Hmm.
play, well, just different stuff, and you want to fit
Right.
in. Though, what was it? Did you realize that, hey, fitting in is just not my thing, and just, I'll just fit in where I need to fit in, or just, and just keep those away from me, especially the ones who going to definitely say nasty things to you as far as bullying, and everything else like that. So how was it fitting in, sitting for you?
I think it was just about finding my tribe, and the people that I was meant to spend time with just weren't really in my school community. But it made it easier for me when I was going to school with a lot of people like that. It made it easier because I had that acceptance, and they were really good influences in my life, and also people that like to do the same things too. I met other people; they just weren't the ones that I necessarily went to school with, and I think that really helped out a lot. And I just can't, thank enough of a lot of people that just invested into my life and what led me to that, because those were the ones who were going to make the difference in my life.
Okay, okay, gotcha. And obviously, with this, the learning
Hmm.
disability and struggling and
Yeah.
everything, and it was a lot of limits on you. What was you? Can you take me to that
Sure.
journey? Take me through that journey of you just basically setting for yourself where the world and society is putting limits on me, where I can't, whether it's maybe can't do this or
Hmm.
can't do certain things, but I'm determined to do it anyway.
Exactly. That was another thing that really affected me, was people that would limit me. I can remember I knew that I wanted to go to college, but I was hesitant myself. I knew with the learning disability it was going to be hard, especially math. I was never in any regular math classes, and I knew it was going to be a challenge. And I can remember telling my learning support teacher that I wanted to go to college, and she said, "Well, I don't think you can do that because of your math difficulties." And she suggested a trade school. And the trade school didn't have an early childhood program, and I really didn't want to do any of the other things. So I decided that I was going to go forth with college. I was connected with Office for Vocational Rehabilitation, and they said, okay, maybe you could do 2 years at a community college. A lot of times that's what universities look for. And I was connected with them, and in order to get services through them, I had to be tested for a learning disability all over again outside of high school. And I can remember I've never been a great test taker, and I took the test, and after the psychiatrist who did all the evaluations told me my test scores were so low that I couldn't go beyond a community college, most likely wouldn't. And that was really hard hearing that. And then I get to community college, and there's a stigma around disability accommodations. A lot of people were thinking that if you you were cheating or getting special privileges. So I didn't use them and my grades dropped. I had a professor at the school who also told me that I was going to have limited job choices. So I had a really negative attitude during those years. Finally, I had an instructor that said, "Why don't we at least get you extended test time?" And I took her advice and was able to pass her class. Did not do well, but I passed it.
Mm,
And I was able to graduate with an associate's degree. And I was glad that because I moved out on my own because I'm not able to drive because of my disability. That was another part of it. And I had an apartment and I was working some temp jobs and I really loved it, but I always wanted more for myself. And I had to move back in with my mom and dad because of financial reasons. And this is the time I said, I'm going to give university a try. And I found a college, university that had a program that really interested me, and it had the least amount of math and science possible and had disability accommodations. And there was always that voice of people
mm,
saying that they weren't fair. And I just had to learn how to silence that and to go forward with it. And once I
mm.
started advocating for myself and using those accommodations, my grades improved. I made Dean's List for a semester, and I was able to graduate with a bachelor's degree despite being told I couldn't do it.
Mm. Awesome, awesome. How did you channel all the negativity that was going through your mind at that point when you were told sort of like no in a way?
A lot of what helped me was having family and friends. That was definitely a lot of that group that I still hang out with. They encouraged me along the way. They couldn't fix the disability, but they could be my friend and could do things with me. I had a lot of people saying that you need to succeed because there's a lot of people out in the world that really need you out there to help them.
Mhm.
So there was that motivation, and God really played a role too. I mean, there was just so many doors that opened up. I can remember when I enrolled, I didn't have transportation because the university was close to my parents, but still was about a half an hour away. And I didn't want to live on campus. And my mom was at church, and one of my relatives was at a dinner and she was telling her about me. And she goes, "Oh, I work at the university. I'll be happy to pick her up and take her back." So that opened up, and all the funding came in. I was able to graduate debt free. And I just think it was a combination of a lot of people that were supporting and helping me out.
Mm. I think that is truly an amazing, a story
Mhm,
because a lot of people definitely get pushed to the side where it's like they don't get the
mhm,
attention maybe that others uh, receive because of their limitations or that society put on them,
mhm,
whether you may have a physical disability or a learning disability or just a disability itself, though, so for you to accomplish and set out goals for yourself where society said, what, hey, it's really not meant for you. It's really not set up to for
mhm.
you to thrive in that way. And you said, well, yes, it is. So I
Yeah.
definitely like that. I definitely like that. Well, what inspires you though? Definitely because I definitely love the tremendous inspiration behind it because like I said, I grew up with a
Mhm,
disability and I have a physical disability to whereas though a lot of limitations were placed in front of me definitely as a little child, whether it was a lot of steps you had to go through or just was like
mhm,
I had to go to different schools so they could be an accommodation of sort of
mhm,
me, so it was I definitely know was struggling with that and I as far as the bullying it wasn't as much though for
mhm.
myself though but I definitely remember why your hands like that or why you walk like that or just the questions
Right.
why you're in a wheelchair. So I just know instead of me sort of trying to fit in, I just would be myself. Even though I was a very shy
Yeah.
person, though I would just be myself. I wasn't finding also yeah what inspires you, but how also was it finding yourself through all of those moments though.
Right. One of the things that really inspires me is focusing on what I can do. I love nature. I like to go outside and take pictures of flowers and butterflies. And I can't drive because of my disability with my visual perception. So my husband's great for taking me places. And I have a sweet coworker that can take me home at the end of the day. But when I'm in the car, I get that chance to notice details that other people might miss. So I'll see a flower and I'll say, my husband, did you see that? And he'll be like, no, I'm focused on the road. He's getting a little bit better about this because he hears these stories. But I get that chance when I'm on a walk going somewhere to go and take a picture of a flower. And if I was sitting in the driver's seat, that's something that I would miss. And I get to post them on my website. I also think writing has also been really healing for me and has also definitely been inspiring. I can remember one of the first things they found out I could do was read well and write well. And my dad found a story that I wrote about a dinosaur when I was in third grade. And he said, wow, this is really good. And that just encouraged me to write even more. And it opened up a different world for me. That and books opened up that world where I could escape to whenever I was being bullied or some things were really difficult. That gave me a voice that I could use. And when I went to my writing group all those years ago, when they found out I had a learning disability, one of my friends said, you should really write about having one. And I thought, oh no, that's a little too personal. And I think I wrote about a lot of things, some bad poetry, and some other really cringeworthy things that I wouldn't read today. And years later, I finally took that advice that a friend gave me. I was in our first house that we bought, and I couldn't unlock the door because they found out later on I had limited hand dexterity. And that was like, oh, the light bulb went off. That was why certain things were really hard. And the Mighty was accepting submissions. And one of the prompts that they had was, what's a seemingly easy task for other people, but it's really hard with your disability? And I wrote about that. And I got a really good response from other people. Some people said, well, that's my story, and I struggle with that. And that encouraged me to write more and get more articles published through them and other sources. And I also started my own blog called Michelle's Mission, and that was the inspiration behind that.
Hmm. I like it. I definitely like it. It's a lot of similarities in it.
Mhm.
I had a guest a couple of
Yeah.
weeks ago. Shout out to my guy Kyle. I know he was on the show talking about
Hmm.
growing up and living with cerebral palsy, and
Hmm.
the overcoming obstacles and stuff like that. And from his story and your story, I think is tremendous. And also for me as well, the similarities are definitely there, just from inspiring others, focusing
Hmm.
just basically on you and focusing on what you have to offer
Hmm.
the world. I think will definitely change a lot, though. Um I definitely dig that. Definitely dig that. When you were young, obviously we're young at one point, and we're
Hmm.
kids, and we were all asked, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And did you see yourself being this writer, or although you have a learning disability, and just so much going on, where you're just trying to be normal and accepted, though. But did you see yourself as this writer and a speaker as well?
I knew I wanted to work with children, definitely. As a preschool teacher, I thought would be a good idea, and I did that for a while. And I thought that, but I was also I knew that this is what I wanted to do, but I didn't think it was possible. I thought that I couldn't do a lot of things, and thankfully, with having a lot of support and a lot of programs and just a lot of self-determination, I was able to get where I needed to be at, or where I wanted to be at. And maybe it didn't look like the whole original plan, but it turned out so much better.
I dig it. I definitely dig it. Do you have any books out?
I do have an anthology that has three stories published. That came out last summer. I was involved with a group where we wrote. We went to went to workshops. We wrote about stories, and it is available on Amazon. And that's one of them. And I have some other things that might be coming out soon.
Okay, all right, all right, all right, all right. Before we move on here, I see you out trying to encourage and help others
Hmm.
succeed in the world. You know, people with disabilities and people who don't have disabilities. What is your sort of goal, basically, to that you want to achieve and share the message to people with disabilities and without disabilities?
I want to, the goals of my blog are to encourage, to empower, and to educate people. I want to encourage other people to go out and know what their dreams are and to be able to follow them. I also want to be able to, and to find a way to be able to do that. I also want to empower people that they can go out and achieve those dreams. And I also like to educate people about having learning disabilities because I think that a lot of people don't understand what they are, and there's a lot of myths that go around that, and I want to bring the accurate information about them.
All right, definitely, definitely. Everyone who's tuning in and watching, man, all the links are down below, so you can definitely go visit Michelle's website and definitely get at her and follow her on social media. Though we're gonna move on here on the 11:30 podcast show. It's time, you guys, man, for the 11:30 podcast hot seat, you guys. Yeah, time for the hot seat. All right, all right. It's time for the hot seat. Michelle, I got 5 questions for you.
Okay.
And we're gonna roll with it. All right, all right. Don't be nervous. Everyone who's getting nervous around this time of the show, because it's the hot seat though. But all right, all right. First question. If you had a warning label on you, what would it say?
My warning label would probably would say, warning, this person has you know a disability.
Okay, okay. That's cool. That's cool. Mine would probably say warning label. Um, mm, Watch out. Just watch out or
Yeah,
something like that. I
yeah,
guess you already see my disability, so I guess
yeah,
just
exactly.
okay. Number two. You can travel anywhere in the world. Where would you go?
If I could travel anywhere in the world, I think I would go to Hawaii, somewhere warm at this time, because I
Okay,
look at the snow outside.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. Right, definitely. DC is sort of neutral here. You get all sort of
Hmm.
4 seasons though. I'm cool with it just being like 70 degrees all year round. Like
Right.
that's good for me though. Really good for me. Okay, number three. Uh what is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie. I remember a long time ago one that I liked was Valley of the Dolls with because I love the Jacqueline Suzanne books and I just love the a very old movie, but I just love that.
Okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. All right. Who is your biggest influence today
I
or
think my
throughout life?
biggest throughout life, I think one of the biggest influences I had was a student teacher who told me that I could go to college despite it during that time when I was in high school. And then sometimes that was the voice I heard when it was really difficult at school.
Hmm. You said she told you you couldn't go to college or you could.
I could. Yep, I
Okay,
could. It was
okay.
one of the few voices that was telling me
Okay,
that.
okay, okay, gotcha, gotcha. Because everyone was definitely saying that you
Yeah.
can't go to college. So I definitely think that we all need someone in our lifetime that
Hmm.
will encourage us like that. Because yeah, she is so
Yep.
much negativity coming from so many different angles, and especially when you have a learning disability or disability in itself or whatever,
Right.
no is so often told to you. You want to hear yes. So I definitely get it. I definitely dig it. Okay, let's see the next question. um what is your biggest fear?
I do not like heights very much. I don't like to be
Oh,
up in the air too much on things like that.
okay, okay, so no roller coasters.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, all right on that. No roller coasters. I'll do one or two here and there. Okay, last question though. A favorite food to eat.
I always like salad. I like to make different kinds of salads. That's one of my favorite things. I like my vegetables.
Okay. Cool. Vegetables it is. Look at Michelle. I appreciate you for coming through, taking the time today to come through here on the 11:30 podcast show. But before we go, any questions, any shout outs, anything you'd like to say?
I would just love to give a shout out to my family and my friends. I couldn't have done it without them.
All right. Support is definitely big, definitely from family, you guys. For everyone who's
Mhm.
watching, man, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Michelle's been a wonderful guest. I appreciate you for tuning in on this week's episode of the podcast show. You guys, man, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, man. So don't move. And plus, the WTF moment and more, you guys, man. You're listening and you're watching to the 11:30 podcast show. Michelle, thank you once again for coming through here on the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
What's happening? What's going on? Yo, it's me, Brian B. That's right, and I'm telling you guys to head on over to YouTube today and make sure you subscribe to the Beeline Entertainment LLC. Check us out. We all over the place.
Yo, what up? This your boy Kenneth Stones, aka Coffee Weaston. This your boy DOE Good Brother Bowl. And we are the Dirty Hills. You already know, man, you tuning in to 11:30 podcast. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Dude, that's my job. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Yeah. And you have been Dirty Hills approved.
Yo, we back here on the 11:30 podcast. Appreciate everyone sticking with me throughout the break, you guys, man. What a credible show it was. Michelle Steiner, thank you for coming through here on the show. All the links are down below so you can get at Michelle Steiner, man. For real, great show. Like I said before the break, man, before we wrap it up and head on out of here, you guys, man, it's time for the WTF moment of the week, you guys. Yes, WTF moment of the week, man. For real, earlier, I'm talking about the Michelle Ashley Madison jump. That's WTF. The Diddy WTF, man. There's a lot of WTF moments going around. But you guys, man, this one right here is WTF all the way. This is a topic on Beyond 11:30, man. We could be talking about Beyond 11:30 coming back soon for everyone, who asks, man, for real. But you guys, man, wait, what, man? You ain't gonna believe this, you guys, man. High school teacher, you guys, was ripped by social media users. She deleted her account after making a very inappropriate joke about her butt, you guys, man, for real. It was a high school teacher by the name of, I can't think of her name, but she's a school district teacher. She's a DC school district teacher. And yeah, okay, you got it right here. DC school district teacher. She went viral on Twitter for what was supposed to be sort of a joke. I don't know how it was going to be a joke, but she was wondering if her underage students were looking at her body while she was wearing see-through pants. You guys, man, check this photo out right here. Yes, a DC school district teacher went viral on Twitter, man, asking if all these young boys and these young little girls or whatever are looking at her butt, man. Went viral. She deleted the whole post and took it down or whatnot. But I think, man, this is very sad, man. I think it started at a very, very young age, man. It really do, and I think boys, need very important guidance in their life, man, and not someone you're supposed to trust like a teacher, who's supposed to be teaching your kids and not asking, hey, are you looking at my butt? Are you looking at can you see my butt through my see-through pants? Like, why is that should be something that we should try to be getting across to these 15, 16, 14-year-old boys, man, who are really just going through, puberty or whatnot, and they smelling themselves and all that, man. Look, I've been that age before. You feel me? So I'm just saying, man, I think it's totally wrong, man. I think people go viral for the wrong reasons, man. I had a conversation with a gentleman, man, and last season on the podcast, and he was like, man, so many people want to go viral, man. So many people are looking for that million view video or whatever the case may be, man. And do you want to go viral for the right reason or the wrong reason? A lot of people go viral for the wrong reason, And I'm pretty sure she lost her job as a school district teacher and whatnot, though. And why would you be wearing see-through pants to school where it's underage kids are there? You feel me? You're not going to a booty call. You're not going to go see John or Marcus or whoever. Like, you're supposed to be going to a very professional place, as a school to teach, And I think, like I said, man, it start young, man. It really start young, and these boys, a lot of stuff be exposed too soon to not just the boys but the girls too, man. You wouldn't even think. You're like, wow, I'm supposed to be in class learning or whatnot, and the teacher up there taking pictures of her butt and not let alone got see-through pants on. Like, how was she able? WTF though. WTF, man. I think, yeah, man, Shorty need to go. I think that's the wrong spot she need to be working at. To be honest with you, like, go do OnlyFans or go do something else. You don't rip rival now. Like, you got people looking at your cakes now. So I'm pretty sure 17-year-old Jerome in the school definitely gonna be hitting you up or whatever. So not to make too much fun of it, but that's what we're gonna do here on the show, shit. But WTF, man, for that school teacher right there, man. WTF all the way. Yo, man, incredible episode. Like I said in the beginning, we are on the road to 200 episodes, man. June 12th, streaming live here on Facebook, here on YouTube, and on Facebook and Instagram. So you guys, man, tune in. I got some wonderful guests and, trying to cook up something excellent and surprising for the 200 episodes. So I appreciate everyone who's been rocking with me on this journey and been along with me. It's been real fun. It's been awesome, man. And we're going to keep trucking at it, man. The 1130 podcast is just getting started, you guys. Talk Pro Wrestling is back this Saturday, immediately following WWE King and Queen of the Ring, man. It's going to be awesome. We're going to find out who's the new King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, and some more, man. So definitely tune in. And also, we're going to be talking more on Double or Nothing, man. So definitely tune in to Talk Pro Wrestling this Saturday, you guys. So this is episode 197. It's in the books. 198 next week. But until then, you guys, man, it's been an incredible episode. Enjoy the rest of your day, man. I'm about to head on out of here, you guys. Until next time, stay blessed, stay safe. Give all the glory to God, man. Won't he do it? It's your man Dre, a.k.a. Dreonwheels, and I'm out, man. Peace.
I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. 1130 podcast, Dreonwheels is the one. Let's get it, yeah. Who with me? Let's get it, yeah. No, with me, yeah. I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. Let's get it. 1130 podcast, Dreonwheels is the one. He the one, nigga. So let's get it, baby.